Fox 5 and Hot 97 present Street Soldiers with Lisa Evers.
I'm so glad you're joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers on Winning at Education. I'm your host, Lisa Evers. It's that time of the year again. As a new school year begins, there's anticipation, much excitement, and new challenges that must be met. And that goes for parents as well as our educational institutions. Much has been made about the negative effects the pandemic shutdown had on children and the toll taken on their education. Many parents will tell you that it put their kids' social and emotional development on pause. Their dependence on digital devices and technology was often portrayed as potentially harmful. But that's not the whole story, says Dr. Christopher Emdin, a professor at Columbia University Teachers College. A nationally recognized education expert, Dr. Emdin was recently named Maxine Green Chair for Distinguished Contributions to Education.
If you believe in the concept of learning loss, then you also have to believe in the concept of accelerating learning. If the kids lost so much during pandemic, then how do you create the conditions in your teaching and learning to be able to accelerate the capacity for them to be able to soak in content knowledge? And I think it can be done if we tap into the sensibilities of the new generation of young people.
From today's vantage point, Dr. Emdin says students actually acquired new skills because of hybrid learning and the increased use of digital devices and greater awareness.
It's just a fact that they're more attuned to what's going on in the world, so they're more culturally aware than they've ever been before. They have developed the ability to be to handle more than one task at once in ways that they never could before.
This fall, there's another challenge facing the New York City public school system, educating hundreds more children of asylum seekers, in addition to the 19,000 from last year. There are questions about how quickly they can get enrolled, properly equipped, and in classrooms, says Chalkbeat reporter Michael ELSEN-ROONEY.
And once they get in there, how prepared schools are to support them. Are there bilingual programs if families need that? Are they getting supplies, transportation? So that's a big question.
Schools Chancellor David Banks says the Department of Education is ready to handle the challenge.
Throughout the fall, we will keep in close coordination with principals and superintendents who see our newest New Yorkers join their school communities, and we will disperse funds as necessary throughout the year.
No matter what their circumstances, parents' responsibility for their children's education doesn't stop when they drop them off at the school door. They must stay involved and be their child's strongest advocate and supporter, says parent LETITIA HODGES.
You know your child best. So like Chris said, don't just listen to any of the negative interactions or, anything that they say about your child. You have to be able to explain, certain things and to give people insight into who your child really may be, just not what they see on the surface.
Let's get into this now with our panel. Joining me is Michael ELSEN-ROONEY. He's a reporter with Chalkbeat New York. Michael, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. Also with us is Dr. Christopher Emdin. Chris is a professor at Columbia University Teachers College, and of course he looks familiar from his social media, very active, and he's also the founder of Hip Hop Ed and the Science Genius Project and many other projects and programs. He was on the President's Council under President Obama for STEM education and a lot of other things. He's always out in the community and doing some exciting things. We're going to find out what he has to say. Chris, great to have you with us again.
Always glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Also joining us is LETITIA HODGES. She's the mother of an 11-year-old son in the 7th grade now, and she's going to talk with us about parents and what she's been going through and some advice for parents as well. LETITIA, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We really appreciate it. Chris, I want to start with you on this. When you look at where we are in terms of education, especially in New York City, what do you see happening in this 2023 school year?
I mean, this school year is one for the record books. We are fully engaging in the post-pandemic sort of life, right? The previous school year, we're sort of teetering on a cusp of it, and now we're fully in that. So, what does post-pandemic education look like now that we're in a space where we're not yet as, not so fearful about what pre-pandemic looked like? We're also dealing with an influx of new populations into New York City who are also going to be coming into the schools who need to have their needs met. So that's another sort of big issue we have to address. And then for me also, we're coming out of the 50th anniversary of hip hop, where there's been so much sort of cultural excitement about this cultural phenomenon. and all these young folks who are deeply embedded in the culture. And so in what ways are educators and schools going to harness that excitement into the school year is another thing that we need to really focus on. So we got a lot going on culturally, pedagogically, and societally. And this is going to be the school year where we figure it out.
Definitely a lot happening for sure. Letitia, as a parent, what's going through your mind as you anticipate this year and getting your son the best education that he can possibly get?
I'm just looking forward to the community, right? Like his school really has a big community presence, and they really foster each other's development and their growth and everything. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing how his peers have grown over the summer and the staff has grown because his school has merged. So one of the other middle schools has merged as far as their teachers and just different staff members and the scholars. So I'm just really looking to see how they all develop and how they all just work with each other in this new year, because yes, pandemic is, subsiding for the most part, and we're getting back to the actual rigor of the curriculum and just the everyday hustle and bustle of getting to school and enjoying each other's time and actually being in the classroom and not so much virtual learning and everything. So, just to see how the day goes on and how the year comes together.
All right. Michael, and when you look at the New York City public school system, huge mammoth system, doing a tremendous job in a lot of cases, a lot of challenges in a lot of other ways as well. What do you see as a couple of the big issues or challenges facing the educators here in the city system?
Yeah, so from my conversations with people who work in schools, I think a couple of the big issues on people's minds are, number one, the city is rolling out a big initiative to change the way that schools teach reading. So a lot of schools across the city are adopting new curriculum that's meant to align more with some of the research about how students learn to read. And that's, an enormous issue. And, it's one thing to say we're changing the curriculum. It's another for teachers to actually learn that and implement it in practice. And so a lot of schools are, really, working through that right now. Another big one that I'm hearing about is, the city received billions of dollars in one-time federal aid during the pandemic, and that's funded some really huge initiatives in the city. But that money expires at the end of this school year, and so the city's facing some really tough decisions about what programs to continue funding and how to kind of use a more limited pool of resources going forward.
Don't go away. We're just getting started. Letitia, with your son, once he started going back into the classroom after the pandemic, did you find that he was more bored with in person, or was looking at things more attentive to digital devices or like laptops or the iPads or the phone or whatever? Did you notice any difference in how he was learning?
Yes. So his focus really wasn't there as much because they were so happy to see each other, right? So they did a lot of communicating with each other. There was a lot of talking and things like that. So it took away from the learning until they had to use the laptop in the classroom. So that's what I know with his school, they did do that as they were bringing them back in. They continued to do the digital learning because while they're in the classroom, paper was no longer necessary since they became so acclimated to using the laptops and such. So they continued with that. They were reading on the laptops. They were taking tests on the laptops. So it continued with that structure, but being actually in the building.
I think there's a general misperception that our students have lost focus,
right?
Like they can't focus anymore. And in reality, they've not lost focus. They just learn to be able to focus on more than one thing at once.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. So that, you said like, my kid is not sitting there just reading a book for 3 hours anymore. He's doing 9 million things. And with a young person who's more multi-focused, what's going to be more necessary now is instruction that's multi-focused and more diverse. Yeah. So a teacher who's teaching in old ways, having you just sitting there, ain't going to capture your imagination. So the pedagogy, the science of teaching and learning has to be more sophisticated. Now you have to have the kid reading, going online, utilizing social media, right? Writing and drawing text and doing it all at once. And so, the kids have not regressed. They've actually become more sophisticated. And sophisticated babies need sophisticated teaching. So the question then becomes, how is the teaching catching up to the more sophisticated young person who learns in more diverse ways?
We did a lot of stories on the lack of technology and the lack of access just to, the internet and in some of our under-resourced communities and the students that really needed it the most. What do you see happening in that area?
When COVID first came, there was this big question of like, how are we going to equip kids to like be able to participate in remote learning? And so there was this pretty massive effort to purchase and deliver like literally hundreds of thousands of iPads. And the city chose iPads in part because they could set them up with cellular data plans so that families without Wi-Fi could still get internet access. And so, I forget what the final number was, but I'm pretty sure it was over 500,000 iPads that were purchased and distributed. So, since then, and since in-person schools resumed, there's been some challenges in when a kid graduates one school and goes to another school, for example, do they keep the iPad? Does the school retain the iPad? So there's some questions of how you track all those devices. A lot of them get broken, as you can imagine. How much is the city going to spend on getting them fixed? And so, I think you would think at this point we're close to being one-to-one, which is, how they describe districts, that there's a device for every kid, but often, like in some places, it's not quite there yet. And so, it remains a big challenge, and I think one that the system's still trying to figure out.
What about on the topic of socialization? Letitia, your son, when he went back with his friends, do you feel that he had to kind of catch up in terms of social skills, especially in that especially in that middle school range?
Yes, I can say he did, but I do believe that the school picked up on that, right? They heard from the parents. I'm a big advocate in the school, for the children and everything. I'm very involved. So they have incorporated social emotional learning into their day. They've incorporated downtime blocks into their day where, this 20 minutes, you can just relax, put your head down, you can read a book, you can talk to your friends. We don't have to just be on the curriculum schedule all day long. So these things are incorporated into the day to break up the day to provide you with that distance and that downtime. You can go sit over, a lot of teachers have recreated their classrooms with corners with beanbag chairs and, small isolation corners for those that get overstimulated. They've reconstructed the way that their children are allowed to leave the classroom when they're feeling overwhelmed.
It's a charter school, but it's also under the public school system. Is that how it works?
Yes. It's no tuition or anything like that. You apply via the internet, it's a SchoolMint app, and it's by lottery more so as to how you're chosen, and then they have the sibling preference. So once you get one of your children in, more than likely your other children will be able to follow in the footsteps of their older sibling.
And what difference do you think it's made for your daughter, that it made for your daughter and for your son who's there now?
So for me, I always tell parents to choose a school that matches your ideology in your personal life and at home, like how your home structure is, etc. Because the academics are going to be the academics, right? The school structure is going to be the school structure. But you want to make sure that the school you're sending your child to has the resources to support them, whether they have an IEP or whether they have any behavioral issues or any social emotional concerns, whether, they wear uniform or not, whether they're strict in that aspect, whether they have after school, because that may meet your working needs, whether they have a standing half day, because like my son, they have a standing half day on Fridays. So you have to ensure that, you meet the needs, you meet your children's needs in that regard because they get out of school at 1 o'clock. So if you're still working, you have to ensure that there's childcare or there's some type of aftercare, or your children have a secure plan in the afternoon to meet that.
In terms of the charter schools operating within the DOE, where do things stand with them?
Well, so charter schools, are publicly funded and tuition free, but they're not operated by the DOE. They're operated by, outside organizations and networks. So the way things stand is, essentially there's a cap set by the state on the number of charters allowed to exist in New York City. And, we, I believe, haven't quite reached that cap. There's, some schools or let me go back on that. We're close to that cap. Some schools are still allowed to expand in terms of grades, but they're not adding new charter schools at this point. And there have been some efforts to expand that cap, but I think there's very little appetite for that in the state legislature.
At that point. And Kristen, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make this one point, because I think it's important for our audience to be sort of aware of the landscape. I think that LETITIA, the school that she described, is a school that works well for her children, and may work well for a lot of young people.
Right.
I also want to make clear that I have visited charter schools within New York City that are positioned as alternatives to the DOE, and they're not popping. And they don't do right by young people as well. So I think it's important for the audience to know that this is a school that does well for her children and may work well in many ways. It's not necessarily the alternative. They are schools within the DOE that do a phenomenal job by children. And oftentimes, the growth of some charters is at the expense of other schools who are not given the opportunity and resources to grow. With that said, what LETITIA said was spot on. You as a parent have to know your child and place them in the place that works best for that child. And when you do that, they thrive. And that kind of level of like knowing your child and knowing the space is very, very important.
Yes, absolutely.
And Chris, in terms of advice for parents so that they can augment the education their kids are getting, any tips for them?
The first thing that I always say to parents is this: you're sending a child to a school, you are the boss.
Absolutely.
Do not be afraid to show up to a school, make an appointment with the principal, make an appointment with the AP, make an appointment with the parent coordinator. I think oftentimes we send our babies to school and then we say, whoo, the school got it. Nope, the school ain't got it. They only got it to the extent to which you are engaged in what's going on. And it's not a imposition. You have a right. You have a right to demand the conditions in a school, public, charter, or otherwise, that meet the needs of your children. That's number one. Number two, this work don't get done without community. So if you find in your network that there's something lacking, find somebody that can supplement. If you need somebody, like, listen, a barter system is why communities of color have always survived in the most challenging circumstances in history. So you ain't got to be at this on your own. If you see a parent that's after school and you can't make it after school, listen, you watch my baby after school and I'll pull up in the morning and bring your baby to school. And so it's in the construction of that out of school community that we make sure that our children are covered in love and care. And then the last thing I would say is this: do not reinforce negative stereotypes about your babies. I don't care what a teacher says. I don't care what a school board says. I don't care what an article says. Our children have the capacity to learn, the desire to learn, and the intellectual ability to learn. And so when somebody uses that negative talk about your child, you have to always counter that. Sometimes the kids end up making poor decisions because they don't have enough people in their lives telling them about their beauty and their potential and their capacity. So don't ever underestimate the words you wrap your child in before they leave your house. When you tell them they're great, they're excellent, they're a good kid, and they're going to perform magic in the school today, and that's the magic they leave the building, the house with, that's the magic they enter into the school with. And so never underestimate the power of positive self-talk to our children before they leave your house in the morning. And if we address those things, we're going to be all right, in the words of Kendrick Lamar.
LETITIA, I'm going to give you the last word as the parent.
No, because I was just saying that, what Chris is saying is absolutely correct, right? So for myself, at the beginning of the school year, I send an email apologizing to the teachers, the principal, the staff, and even when I meet them in person, because I'm an overwhelming parent. And I'm letting them know that I'm going to be overwhelming. And I'm apologizing in advance because while you may have 300 children in your school, I only have one. I can only advocate for my children when I am in the know of what is going on with my child at that time. So you have to communicate and partner with the school and with the community, like Chris said, to ensure that your children are going to be their best self.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers on winning at education. You can watch it again and share it on our Fox 5 NY YouTube page. Remember, use your mind is your best weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace, love, and justice for all.